You guys good?
Yeah.
Coach, just to start, I mean, could your offense have worked any better tonight, basically, to have what you had, you know, in terms of table setting and then guys driving runners in?
You know, it started in BP. My coach, the offensive coach, just came to me and said, Coach, that was the best BP we've had in 3 years here. They were just hitting blurs all over the field. It was short strokes, and it carried over. Sometimes that doesn't always happen. But I'm very proud of the way we came out. We beat a guy that hadn't given up an earned run yet this year. And I feel we beat a good baseball team, a team that's well coached. Game got a reach early, so it made it tough on them. But very happy the way we played. Just like I said to the team, Zach Warren pitched his best game this year, and it wasn't his best game, if that makes sense. He didn't have his good stuff, but that just goes to show how much he's maturing, that he can go out there with not his best stuff. His breaking stuff wasn't as good as it has been, and he was able to dominate the game for the most part for 6 innings.
How did he do that, I guess? If we're going to start with Zach, I mean, what was it basically that he was able to do?
Well, he had great command of his fastball, and that's what we pitch off of with him. He's got downward action on his fastball. He really gets in on right-handers well. He really does a good job with that, and he made some big pitches with his fastball. His slider kind of turned some counts around for him. I thought his change was effective when we used it for the most part. He just has that bulldog mentality, and a lot of guys would go out there. He was on 1 day shorter rest. He went 108 or 9 pitches last weekend, and was on 1 day shorter rest because of the change in the rotation. And I could tell he was a little fatigued, but he made pitches when he had to, and it was huge.
Back to the offense. I mean, I think Derek, Moberg, and Hall, I think were 8 for 10 with a walk and like 6 runs at one point. You've talked a lot about those guys as table setters. Just how important were they tonight?
Well, you know, I think the thing that goes unnoticed, and I've said this to my coaching staff, our 9-hole hitter, Derek Lance, is a big part of our offense. If you go back and look at the games that we've had some unbelievable numbers, Derek Lance has had a big part of that. He's had big days. And he flips the lineup over. And then Moberg, it seems like when he goes, Moberg goes well, and then Hall has a big night. It sets the table for Senzel, Jackson, and Rogers, and those guys are gobbling up RBIs. And, you know, I thought Nick had a great night tonight, and it doesn't show in the box score. He hit some blurs at people, drove in some runs, but I was just happy the way we swung the bats. I mean, even our outs were hard, and I thought we did a great job of hitting line drives all over the baseball field tonight.
We've talked before about Jordan just picking up RBIs. He gets 4 more today. He's up to 25. Just what's the secret?
I tell him just to keep playing Pac-Man. You know, that's what he is. He just gobbles those people up, and I think Coach Thomas has a great point for him. You look at an average goes up and down. The RBIs don't come off the board; they just only go up, and he's doing a good job. His best at bats is when runners are in scoring position. You look at his average. His average isn't great, but he's just gobbling up a lot of RBIs and driving in a lot of big runs for us.
Obviously, it's just the first game of the series, but what does it mean to you open up a series like this against your old program? And, you know,
well, I think it just puts a little more pressure on our team that tomorrow's going to be a huge challenge. We've got a doubleheader. Usually when you have your way with a good baseball team like we did tonight, it makes tomorrow even a bigger challenge to come out and repeat what you did tonight. And we'll have a short night, early back on the field tomorrow, and then set for at least 18 innings. And our guys need to be focused and come out and play good baseball tomorrow.
Are you, with the switch up, are you still going with Andy in the third game?
Right now, Hunter Martin will go to the first game, and then the first game will determine what I do the second game. I have some options. I've got Andy if we don't use them. Got Daniel Vasquez and even Stephen Kane. So the first game is going to dictate a lot what happens, and I'll make that decision after game 1.
Zach Reed was throwing some filth at the end. Basically, how you kind of seeing him progress, basically?
Well, you know, for Zach, it's about consistency in the strike zone. His stuff, even though it's not overpowering, I saw it all fall, and when we came back, guys don't get good swings on him. When they get good swings, is like the guy did in the 8th inning when he goes 3-2 count on somebody. When they see too many pitches from him and they get a read on him, we need him to come in and gobble up those kind of stints for us. We need, like I've said all along, we need some guys to step up. He's stepped up tonight. You know, Eric Freeman did his thing. Richard Jackson stepped up the other night. Aaron Soto. We need those guys to play their roles and continue to step up for us.
I want to go back to Lance real quick. When you guys kind of put this lineup together, did you sort of build it that way? Because it kind of goes sort of 9 to 5. Is sort of how your offense.
Good way to put it.
Did you do that on purpose, I guess?
You know, I'm on their side in the dugout with them, but I know if I was on the other side, you really don't have you can't take a breath in that lineup. I mean, every guy seems to 1 through 9. When your 9-hole hitter does what he's been doing, you don't. There's no breaks in that lineup, and I think the way there's continuity to it, and there's perfect example, and this came from one of my coaches after the game. Just look at Nick Senzel's last at bat. Count he had count leverage. Guy throws a dirty ball off the plate, and he stays with his approach and lines the ball right to the first baseman. Easy for him to get selfish in that situation, think, I'm going to put one out of the ballpark and take a sloppy swing. But it's that continued selflessness by our guys is why I think we're going to be a very good team as we continue to grow together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah.